12 days after the deadly shooting at the Navy Yard, we're getting an up-close look at what's being done now for the thousands of people who lived through the nightmare, forced to run for their lives from what the FBI has described as a crazed gunman. Brad Bell has led our coverage, and he's live outside the Navy Yard with more on this story tonight. Brad?
Yeah, well, we've known that hundreds of people witnessed the carnage inside Building 197 firsthand. Hundreds of people knew the victims personally. We've heard stories of people who can't sleep, who say they don't want to return to work here. Well, tonight, the Navy is saying they have a place to turn. James Slater is among thousands of Navy Yard workers to seek counseling after the September 16th shooting.
Hearing shots fired, sheltering in place for a few minutes, it was really a relief for me to be able to go and talk to a professional.
The Vice Admiral in charge of Navy bases worldwide invited ABC7 aboard the Navy Yard today to highlight a vast array of services available to both active duty and civilian personnel like Slater. Admiral William French says the mass shooting left many here deeply shaken.
We are expending a lot of time and effort to make sure that we're taking care of those employees or anybody that was on the Washington Navy Yard that might have been impacted. We're dedicated to continue that effort as long as it takes.
And so, in this room, a Navy Psychiatric Rapid Response Team coordinates its efforts to comfort.
Most people will experience initial shock and horror, sadness, anger, but then with time, most people get better.
In another room, a team schedules group and individual sessions for civilian workers. There's even a team of therapy dogs on hand from a group called Hope Dogs. In all, 7,200 people have had at least some contact with the services. James Slater says it helps.
I walked in and walked out half an hour later, and I felt much better.
Now, one disturbing thing we heard a number of times today was that on the Navy Yard, earlier this week, when the FBI released the video of Aaron Alexis in the building, there was a lot of anger on the Navy Yard, and actually the counselors were called into a number of offices to come back and talk to the people again because they said seeing that video was like reopening a wound. At the Navy Yard, Brad Bell, ABC7 News.